Oh man,
I love Puckett.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
just
it's
always
just
a
great.
little subtle
That
jabs.
little jab there.
Well,
I liked it.
You know, when I was doing my research getting into this game, and one of the trends that you clearly have to identify with FNRGFE is their Sombra play. And what map is great for Sombra when you talk about Assault? Full Sky Industries.
Yeah.
And that is exactly where FNRGFE are going to take Immortals here. And I could realistically see them win this one.
Well, I think you have to see Immortals adjust on the offensive end to that Sombra play, which most likely we're going to see from FNRGFE. Looking over, they're already setting up on defense is a FNRGFE. And they're going to be running the Sombra. So you have Bonnie on Sombra. Buds looks like he'll be running Genji here to start Clockwork on Tracer. And then your two tanks, you're going to have a cool Matt on the Diva, Muma on Winston. So I'm interested to see how we see Immortals go and attack the Sombra play from the side of FNRGFE.
Yeah, it's been a story of Immortals just struggling, right, to get those kills quickly. And that's what was, brought up on the desk, right? When you have a Sombra, you just gotta go in, get the kill, boom, 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 then you're out, right? Before the Sombra can even do any significant damage. And because Immortals are taking their time, and FNRGFE, they know how to play around that. It seems like they are a Sombra team. They know how to play around that hero.
Well, and at least with what we see Immortals going with right now, obviously you expect Verbo to switch off of the Widowmaker, not going to go with a solo healing Zen. It's Grim Reality on the 76. You expect them to go and try and take that top left high ground. And then it's just whether they can force FNRGFE up to the high ground, and then hopefully, by the time they do, they don't have an EMP and just kind of puts everything to rest. So I think a lot of pressure, if this is what Immortals is going to go with, is going to be on...
Something happened?
Okay, something happened. It's going to be on Grim Reality, but something happened there. We don't know what happened, but clearly, the Sombra made a big impact there before the game even started.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone knows what's really going on, but
yeah, it's okay.
It's fine.
We're not ready for the game just yet, folks. In any case, so let's talk about this.
We were
fast.
ready, but now we're not.
Yeah, that's a way to analyze that one, dude.
I drink and I know things.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Ain't that the truth? Okay, so with FNRGFE, I think Immortals, they know that they're going to run this Sombra here. What do you do here now if you're Immortals, right? I mean, we talked about it extensively, but let's kind of recap for those who may be joining us for the first time.
I think what we saw FaZe do the other day against the Sombra play on this map was great. You saw Shadowburn go over to Doomfist, and instead of playing the 76 and going for the high ground on the top left, they went towards that right-hand side, and they forced that fight inside of the health pack room where the Mega is.
Yeah.
Where a lot of teams want to sit with their Sombra and just keep farming that health pack. And what you have when you have the Doomfist on your side and you go down there is, everybody in FNRGFE, they're trying to use that health pack, they're stacking up. You put Doomfist in there, he's able to just cause so much chaos. If for argument's sake, there's a lot of opportunity for him to get, which is a one-hit kill with a rocket punch because everybody's stacked in there. So I think you just have a great opportunity if you are the side of Immortals to break in here. But it looks like the sides have swapped. So you have Immortals now. That's probably what the issue was. FNRGFE was on defense, but now they'll be on offense to kick things off. So we'll have Immortals here on the defensive end. That's how we can get into the game.
All right, well, they will have a Sombra of their own with Kareev playing this one. Sombra has just been such a force here on Full Sky Industries thus far.
Hello there.
And FNRGFE, they're going to have to, it's just a lot of screaming in the background. You hear, there's a lot of misery. That is
it's a long fall there.
That is a really long fall. And what's crazy is it's water. So, theoretically, you won't go all the way deep. You'll kind of just, hover on or, kind of float, I should say. Can't hover unless you have a hovercraft, but, really questionable. Questionable there. Questionable physics.
I guess so. You're debating something that I don't
we
really
have
know
to
the
ask
answer
these questions, Matt.
It'll be Immortals running a Sombra on defense. It'll be Kareev taking the responsibilities for them. Agilities will be running the Genji, Grim Reality on Tracer. On the other end, FNRGFE. They won't have a Doomfist like we saw FaZe use the other day to great success. They'll have the 76. They'll most likely be going for that left-hand side towards the high ground.
First picks are going to be very important here. And you saw the Winston right on the side. You can always expect that Winston to be there right away. And that's why Muma just comes right out, immediately zapping them, forcing them back, though, using the healing pod to continue to sustain themselves in here, though. Get a little bit of that off healing that 76 provides. And so far. No picks have come through just yet. Hype is going to be demeched in just a little bit here. Verbo now will fall. So the Lucio, the solo healing for Immortals is going to get shut down there. And now you're just going to have Sombra working along in the back there. Really, that's your only source of quote-unquote healing because of the health packs. Kariv is dead there as well. And FNRGFE in one push managed to, you know, really give it to Immortals.
I mean, Immortals did a decent job of denying the high ground there, but then everything started to fall apart. Hype loses his mech, then they lose Verbo.
Stalling.
They get back onto the point, stalling for a little bit though, but it looks like they're going to fall all the way back. They're going to concede the point here to FNRGFE.
Oh no.
So it'd be a clean take here. Well, maybe, hold on, you have Hype coming around the corner.
Yeah,
they look like they want to challenge us yet again. They do pick up one on Abani, but it'll be Buds taking out Grim Reality. FNRGFE does have their attack visor. They have a sound barrier here as well. Kariv, though, he earns himself the EMP, so you don't want to use that sound barrier right away.
Yeah, you know, you thought they were going to disengage on that one, but Immortals, I mean, they were able to stall that one out, and while they did manage to get 2 ticks onto point A, Immortals will be able to stand tall here with their tanks, with their supports. Goodbye, Boink. Back to the spawn room you go, my friend.
Well, look, I mean, Immortals, it looked like they were going to back out, but Verbo just goes back on the Lucio, brings everybody else back in, you know, with the speed boost, and they're able to, you know, kind of hold here on defense. FNRGFE, they use the sound barrier there, and they use the attack visor. Immortals, they still have, you know, the EMP, they still have their own sound barrier. All you saw was Agilities use the Dragon Blade.
That one push for FNRGFE gave them 2 ticks. You just got to be very cautious. The EMP was used, as a matter of fact, there, and it seems like they use that to push back Muma. Without that tank, it's going to make this push very difficult to have to deal with now. And Immortals might try and punish this one out as they hang around the front door, not let them get any kind of presence. But now, you know, the FNRGFE squad, they kind of play that little seesaw, right? They go back, they go forward again, and now Buds is going to have control here of the high ground. But while all this is going on, he's poking, and he's just letting this team get more and more EMP built. There goes the sound barrier for Immortals, though. Fate's going to be down. Here comes the Transcendence for FNRGFE, trying to keep their teammates alive. Another EMP in this fight. Kariv uses it to great effect. Muma, not a lot of health, and he won't get that health as well as that health pack is going to be for Immortals, and he has to get out of there.
Muma does use the Primal Rage, though. He's going to come right back onto the point, knock players around here. As they know, we're down to our last, 50 seconds or so here for FNRGFE on the offensive side. Clockwork still with this pulse bomb. You're going to have Boink getting very close to a sound barrier. Now you're going to have Bonnie switch over to a Sombra. So you're going to have Sombra now on the side of FNRGFE. Immortals doing a fantastic job here on defense.
Yeah, they're playing basically what FNRGFE were going to do against them, right? Just denying them any kind of presence on the point. While they were able to accomplish 2 ticks, though, now we're going to be down to 30 seconds. This is going to be FNRFG's last chance to push.
And the only support ult they had, they just used with their sound barrier. They only connect on 2 members of their team, so you're not going to have it. Immortals can come back onto the point here with their own EMP. It's Buds, though, with attack visor. He's able to take out 2. There comes the EMP. But it looks like FNRGFE taking control of the fight. Just as I say that, though, it's Fate able to take out Buds. Kariv going to D-Mech. Cool, Matt.
And here you go.
It's just Fate on the point, though.
FNRGFE, they managed to get that cap, and man, I mean, you know, it took a lot out of them to be able to make that one happen, but still, you know, kudos to Immortals on a very good defense and drained so much time, especially in a game type where time is everything.
You see it's going to be FNRGFE using their own EMP. The defense matrix is down. The pulse bomb comes in. You get hyped out of mech. They get onto the point. We'll see if they can make any progress here, though. It'll be cool, Matt. Using the self-destruct. It'll be Immortals using their own sound barrier, trying to stay alive.
Cool, Matt. Living on the point. You have Kariv just applying the damage down, and you got to be careful not to get hacked as well. You just got to do that damage immediately. Gets to that health pack there, and you know, that's something that Fate cannot use, and you see that health from Fate really low, and they're continuing to live on this side here. I mean, Immortals, I'm sure, just not expecting this kind of relentless pressure that's coming out of FNRGFE. With 3 minutes on the clock, they're gaining a lot of progress. There goes the EMP now, forcing everyone back. They're going to wait this out here and look to maybe use the EMP of their own if they try and re-engage.
Yeah, I mean, they have the EMP of their own. There it comes in. They're going to have a sound barrier here as well. You see the sound barrier come through. It'll be Agility, so using the Dragon Blade. See if he can get anything for the side of Immortals. He gets taken out. You have the attack visor come in from Buds as well. FNRGFE dominating here. Looks like they're in a very good spot to close out this point.
Last second stalls here coming through, but it won't matter. FNRGFE get 2 points. And man, I mean, when you thought that FNRGFE were out of it, they then just put Immortals that entire fight just against the ropes.
Well, they kill Fate coming out of point A, so he's on spawn. FNRGFE decides to get aggressive. They push on through. They use their EMP. Then they're able to demech Hype. So now you have, your Winston coming off of the spawn. You have Hype now without a mech there, and then your FNRGFE, they're able to just push on to the point. And once they got there, Immortals was not able to win any fights pushing back.
Yeah, it just became stagger, right? They were pushing out one by one. All right, so now it will be Immortals' time to attack. And I was surprised that FNRGFE were being held the way that they were. But now that they're on defense, I am a bit concerned for Immortals because, if they have a performance similarly to what Immortals have there on defense, which they have done in the past, this could spell bad news for Immortals.
So we'll see Bonnie on Sombra here for FNRGFE on defense. We'll see Buds going with Genji, Clockwork on Tracer. We'll see, I think, what Immortals decides to do on offense. I think that'll be the biggest question mark, what they decide to run with. They want the 76. That means they have agilities, lose the Doomfist or the Genji, and he'll have to play Tracer. Then I think that's probably your biggest decision if you are Immortals. But I think I kind of go back to it. When you know the other team's going to run that Sombra, they're going to play on that health pack. I loved what we saw FaZe do with the Doomfist the other day.
And agilities isn't, a bad Doomfist at all, so...
Yeah, he's a fantastic Doomfist,
yeah.
So, I mean, the strat you think would work, right?
Yeah, it's a good choice for them, but, perhaps they're just not as comfortable with it. And I think, they're just going to opt for that push onto the left side that we see a lot of these teams do here. The question is, will FNRGFE punish them for it? They know how to play around this. I am a little surprised that at the very least they're not trying it out.
We'll see if they can get that high ground control, put Grim Reality in a spot to succeed as they move through the left-hand side. They're just kind of coming out here a little bit, seeing how much pressure is going to be in their way as see FNRGFE going to be aggressive on defense.
Yeah, trying to get a pick there, and Cool Matt low on health, so maybe Immortals can get the upper hand here if they could demech Cool Matt on that play. And here they go onto the point. Grim Realities is going to have free reign above, and look at Grim. I mean, if really no one's going to be here to contest him just yet, he can kind of play back, let his teammates come back and support him. They're holding it down.
And just as Bonnie gets his EMP, he falls at the hands of Agility, so a big pick off there by Agilities.
Huge pickup. In turn, though, Clockwork responds, tries to even the odds here. Bonnie will get back into the action. Sombra can run very quickly to the objective. So Grim Reality and Immortals need to be very mindful of this one. Verbo's going to get shut down. Won't be able to build up on any kind of ultimate for the time being. And there goes the pressure coming through from FNRGFE, forcing everyone back. Immortals have to, regroup here, get ready for their next attack.
Yeah, Immortals, though, they will have a Transcendence. You're going to get very close to Sound Barrier. Obviously, Sound Barrier could get negated by the EMP. This is also going to allow some players for FNRGFE that fall to get back into the fight. So you'll have Buds now with the Dragon Blade. You'll have your own Sound Barrier and EMP here for FNRGFE. We'll see how they decide to combo these. Grim Reality getting very close will get Attack Visor as well.
Lots of work with on both sides, but the EMP is going to start things off here and force folks back. Immortals, they got to go to the Mega Health, just see if they can keep themselves alive here, not lose out too many players, not allow FNRGFE to build up, and they stop them in their tracks.
Well, at least they don't have the EMP for this next fight to negate the effects of that Sound Barrier. Bonnie getting closer towards it, already back at 64%. Just buys FNRGFE a little bit more time here on the defensive end. So maybe you see Buds use that Dragon Blade. Get one of these support ults out.
Transcendence is in effect to keep everyone alive. They're going to have to pop it, but Bonnie has the EMP again. Verbo has not used that Sound Barrier. There goes the Sound Barrier. Do they use the EMP, and it wipes out the health, or the shields, except for Verbo. And Grim Reality, while he's using that Attack Visor, can't get anything with it, because at that point, they had already lost the fight.
Immortals used a lot there, Alex. It's not good. I mean, you use a Attack Visor, you use both of your support ults. You don't make any progress towards the point. They're forced to pop the Tranquility, the Transcendence a little bit early as they go into that left-hand side. And even though they use that ability, Hype still gets demech, so they don't really get good use out of it.
Gotta be careful not to lose Muma here, because that could be the opening that they were looking for. Fate's gonna use the Primal Rage now, and they're gonna get 2 kills on Bonnie and Buds. Clockwork, though, being a disruptor into the back lines. If he can get a kill onto one of the support members, maybe that would, you know, pay out in dividends for him. But they have swarmed the point. It will be blue all over this, and Immortals will manage to get a first point on the board. 46 seconds on the clock. Not quite what we saw from, you know, FNRGFE, or actually say from Immortals defense before against FNRGFE, but still though, a lot of time wasted. If you're the defensive team, you're happy with that one at the very least.
And now 4 minutes, 30 seconds to attack here on point B for Immortals. I know all you have is a self-destruct to work with. I know for FNRGFE, you have that EMP. You know that there's not going to be a sound barrier for the side of Immortals, so you can be a little bit more, I know, loose in how you're going to use that EMP. Maybe you attack with it early.
See if he opts to use this one here. Hype back to the mech. They lose Bonnie, so they won't be able to use the EMP now. And they know that Bonnie will have that. That can open things up for them, but they cannot lose Hype either. And the tanks really are taking a beat in there. Customary of what tanks usually end up happening to them, but still though, FNRGFE can really look to play this one up to their advantage. There goes the EMP, drop down, and FNRGFE pick up some kills now. And Hype just stagger them as much as he can.
Yep, he'll go off the side. Just gonna kind of get a reset here for Immortals. Immortals will have both support ults here. Bonnie takes out Grim here, so that'll slow things down a little bit more. Now Bonnie will build up closer towards that EMP yet again. Immortals, though, they have both support ults. You're going to have attack visor here. The side of FNRGFE, you have your own sound barrier, Buds with the Dragon Blade. We'll see. I think if you are FNRGFE, if you can get one of those support ults out early, I think you're in good shape. You know, Immortals, though, with both support ults can, you know, open this up, not have to worry about, you know, FNRGFE using that EMP. It was a pulse bomb that came out there from Clockwork. You know, gets hyped pretty weak. He's going to have to back out.
Still no pick thus far. FNRGFE, though, will be hurting. The tanks have taken quite a beating. They lose Bonnie, so now they will be able to use that sound barrier if they want to engage and push up. There goes the pulse bomb, but it only does some damage, doesn't get the kill. And now the beat has dropped. Tac Visor is going to be out as well. Grim Reality is just laying down some fire. But still, though, they haven't been able to get a body onto the payload onto the objective just yet. They're circling around it, and you have that spawner's advantage for FNRGFE. So that means that they have to wipe out the defense quickly in order for them to be able to take advantage and build up on that progress, get to that tick.
Yeah, and the side of Immortals, they played a little bit further back from that point. They all didn't want to get hit with the EMP. They're successful, but Buds makes an adjustment, switches the Doomfist off the spawn, connects with one player with a rocket punch, insta-kill. Then everything starts to fall apart there for Immortals. Bud switches right back over to Genji. So now, you are Immortals, you use both support ults here, you got nothing really for you. You didn't even get a tick, no percentage gained. Now you have agilities, make some changes with Grim Reality. You're going to go off of the 76 Tracer combo. You're going to go with your Genji and your Tracer duo. You know, this is what they're really great at.
That's, you know, a little bit of their bread and butter. See if it pays off for them, though. Bonnie, already with a pick on Grim, slows things down. When you don't have that many pushes to deal with here, that hurts quite a bit.
And especially because now you allow him to build up that EMP yet again, which, you know, puts pressure on Verbo when he's going to get that sound barrier. So Bonnie already builds another EMP here. Boink getting very close to a sound barrier. So really for Immortals, 1 minute and 25, you're going to have, you know, Kareev, he's going to earn his Transcendence. Agilities now switches off of the Genji. He's going to go over to Doomfist here, so he's going to lose any progress, you know, that he earned towards his Dragon Blade. Not much. It was only one spawn. Here comes the EMP from Bonnie. The Transcendence comes out here for Kareev as Immortals trying to fight this. Yeah, they weren't able to catch Kareev, and had they caught him, it may have been a different situation. They're getting these kills, and they're forcing back the tanks. Muma has to get out of dodge over here, and Agilities is on the hunt. He has him dead to rights, punches him right in the back, and now they're going to be able to put bodies onto the point here. Perhaps build up and get to that first tick. They have 44 seconds left on the clock, and they're able to get these kills. Bonnie's going to get swept as well, but FNRGFE right off of the spawn X. They have a lot of time, FNRGFE here, though. They have the sound barrier coming off of spawn. Bonnie going to get very close to an EMP. They use the sound barrier. You see Muma, he's going to use his Primal Rage, knock players back. Clockwork with a pulse bomb. Bud's going to get a Dragon Blade here. Verbo will earn the sound barrier. Let's see if, though, Immortals, with only 20 seconds left, they even get a good use out of it.
Yeah, and also because of the EMP, you're going to wipe out those shields as soon as that sound barrier comes through.
It's not good.
So this is either you go and you initiate with the sound barrier before you can even get in, but even then you're going to lose out on the shield super early, or you get up to the point sound barrier, but then that stuff's gone. You have nothing to work with here. And they lose Verbo. Verbo's dead. Now the overtime's going to be into play now. This is it. FNRGFE, they want to be able to hold them off on this. 2-1 is the score here. If FNRGFE come out on top, well, it's going to be huge for them going into this map, and they clear up the kills. Buds finds himself too, and they are wiping the floor with Immortals. They have nothing that they could work with here. The sound barrier comes through, but it really only helps out Verbo, who's trying to stay alive onto the point, skate his way around, but it ain't the roller derby, my friend. You're just going to get rocked, and that will do it. 2-1, FNRGFE. And they win it on their map.
It really hurt losing Verbo at the beginning of that. I mean, when they get onto the point, they're not able to even use the effects of the sound barrier. The EMP comes in. Bud's able to use his Dragon Blade, just cut through the opponents. It's a good hold on defense there from FNRGFE. Immortals not able to get anything going attacking point B.
Here comes the play of the game from Cool Matt. One of the best divas in the game. And you guys will see why right here, you know. Look at this presence that he has on the point, man. This guy, he is just so good. He's such a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, FNRGFE, they win it on Volskaya, and this was a map that, you know, I feel like they had a lot of confidence going into. But again, Immortals, right? Like, showing up. And I think that's like what we wanted to see. That first attack, Immortals were really in control. It just, you know, FNRGFE were able to figure it out in time.
Yeah, I mean, when Immortals gets on the point, there's about like, you know, they're still there. They end up losing the fight with like 20 seconds left. You know, FNRGFE had a ton of ults. You know, obviously a huge defensive, you know, spawner's advantage. You know, they come out, EMP, sound barrier, they're able to take the point back. Really, at that moment, I mean, you had a meteor strike, I think, on agilities, and then you had the sound barrier for Verbo. When you lose Verbo at the beginning, I mean, you don't have another support ult because Karivit's switched off. Yeah. He goes over to Sombra, so he doesn't have anything to sustain on the point. It's just a tough loss from Verbo there at the beginning of that push. You never know what could have happened if they get that meteor strike, you know, on the point, clear it out a little bit. You have the sound barrier as well to last a little bit longer.
Yeah, you know, first picks, especially in those do or die situations, will hurt you to no end, and Immortals certainly felt that one. They're going to go down 2-1 in this series here. One more game, and FNRGFE will come out on top with a 3-1 scoreline. I'm sure some of our friends in the Analysts will be pretty happy with that one. But, folks, don't go anywhere. Game 4 coming up next. Who's going to take it? Will it be FNRGFE winning 3-1, or will we go to a Game 5? Find out after this. Welcome back, everyone, to our final matchup between Immortals and FNRGFE. Goldenboy and Mr. X here as we get ready for our final game on Dorado. And a very odd turn of events have occurred here, X.
So, I'm checking my phone, NFL scores, seeing if Odell's playing tonight. He's not.
Clearly
for
cares
the
about
Giants,
the job.
But, no, I hear Goldenboy. He's like, oh. And I look over to my left at the rosters, trying to figure out nothing changing for FNRGFE. Immortals making a substitution here. During that, pause. Going into Dorado, you'll have Envy subbing in for Agility. So you won't have Agilities here for Immortals. It'll be Envy, Grim Reality, Hyped, Fate, Kariv, and Verbo coming into Dorado game number 4.
Yup. That's weird. I mean, I'm not very familiar with this, so...
I know I saw some people joking on Twitter and Reddit a little bit earlier about maybe Envy coming in as a DPS player. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe Immortals at this point, they're just trying anything out. But I mean...
But Agilities?
Look, Agilities has been sick. I mean, there's no way you can kind of paint a different picture, right? I mean, his Genji's been fantastic when he's on Doomfist. He's been very effective. So I would love to know what the decision-making is behind this. It'll be Dorado, game number 4. Immortals still in this series, right? You make this adjustment, maybe you think, okay, they're out of it. You make this adjustment, you try something different. They're still in this series, though. Don't know, maybe it was something, Agilities internet or something like that going on. Don't have the full story. We'll see if they can get word from admins on an official word on why this change was made. But FNRGFE on defense to kick things off. Buds will be running the 76. Clockwork will be on Tracer. I know the tanks staying the same. Bonnie will be running Ana instead of Zen here. I think you look back at Volskaya. I think Bonnie was so good on Sombra. Definitely want to give him props in that last map. So it looks like Immortals, you'll have Envy running Doomfist with Grim Reality on Tracer here. So when you bring in Envy to run Doomfist, we've seen the Doomfist be very good for agility. So I wonder, I would love to just see from Envy's POV what kind of work he can do on Doomfist.
Yeah, he's going to be the player to watch in this match.
Oh, without a doubt.
Along the flank he goes. And is he able to get a first kill? Okay, all right, there you go, girl. Do your thing. Okay, you got the punch down, the Clockwork. And they're able to isolate out Muma. So, okay. I think, hey, right, at the end of the day, these are some of the best players in the world in competitive Overwatch. I will not judge this heavily because there has to be a reason behind this.
Well, look, I mean, we have not seen Envy excel as, a tank player when he's been playing the D.Va for this team or when he's been playing, the Zarya. But, maybe you can coordinate the dives a little bit better with, Envy and Fate. Maybe you get, a little bit more teamwork going. So we'll see if this change, pans out here for Immortals here as Envy comes in as a DPS player. A lot of pressure being put on FNRGFE. It'll be Envy taking out Clockwork again at the beginning of the next fight.
Yeah, good job isolating Cool Matt on that one. And Envy, I mean, he's getting more kills, and Immortals are rolling right through FNRGFE. They get that first point, X.
In dominant fashion. I mean, 5 minutes and counting on the clock here for Immortals. They don't have to use any ultimates. So I know they have looked quite good here. It's a very early, just this first push, just taking the first point. But coming into the next fight, you'll have your Meteor Strike, you'll have your Self-Destruct. You already have Transcendence and Pulse Bomb. For the side of Immortals, FNRGFE, you're close to your Nano Boost. You have not built up anything towards your Sound Barrier right now. So, Immortals has a big advantage coming into the next fight.
Grim Reality is going to come around the flank now. Look for the opportunity to drop the bomb. Lay la bomba. Let's see if he does it. Bonnie, push back here. Grim Reality's not going to have any health to deal with. Bonnie wisely enough using that biotic nade. Here comes the Meteor Strike, comes through, punches Buds, but won't be able to get the kill, but Hype will follow it up with a double kill onto Boink and Buds. And now they're just looking to stay alive here on the point as much as they possibly can, but it just doesn't seem like, FNRGFE are having any of that. Fate and the rest of the crew, they're just gonna have to regroup now as FNRGFE do manage to come out on top in that particular skirmish.
We do see Fate still on the payload here, has his Primal Rage. The Tac Visor going to come in for FNRGFE. The Sound Barrier's dropped for Immortals. Now the Sound Barrier comes in for FNRGFE. So they're trying to push Immortals back. Now that we've seen FNRG, stabilize a little bit here on defense, let's see how coordinated Immortals can be to break their setup.
Yeah, exactly. This is the time where we truly test the decision of Immortals to bring Envy into this. You know, they don't have players, you know, hanging around the flanks like they did in that first engagement, which was dragged out much longer than I'm sure they had initially expected it to be. They use the sound barrier in that fight. And as we have the overhead here to see where these players are starting to set up, FNRGFE playing the high ground as you should. Here comes Muma to put some more pressure down. Kumat, though, could not get away from it. Ends up getting DMEC immediately. That damage output that Immortals have is absurd. Transcendence in play for Kariv, and they're hanging around this payload, continuing to make some progress with this one. So for Immortals, they're able to come out on top in this fight. Here comes a Meteor Strike. And he's waiting for the target. Won't get anything with it just yet, but still, though, this has been a good fight for Immortals.
Well, I mean, Clockwork and Bud stay alive, and you know, Muma uses his Primal Rage. They take out everybody on Immortals. So Immortals, they use the Transcendence there. They use their Meteor Strike.
A little bit more, you know.
Yeah, they could have, you know, maybe extended that. But I think Muma on the cart, using the Primal Rage, staying alive for an extended period, allowed Buzz and Clockwork to do some work. Now this next fight heavily favors FNRGFE, right? You're going to have Transcendence, you're going to have Pulse Bomb, you're going to have Tact Visor, and you know, your sound barrier. And I wonder, you know, with the cup that Immortals is running, right? You know, with the high ground that FNRGFE is, you know, holding. Now, where is the idea here for Immortals, right? Because I mean, you can get Doomfist to the high ground, but he uses those abilities to get there, or they go all the way around the outside. And if they do that, you know, if he goes to the high ground using his abilities, he can't get down, so he can't get away. You hear the Tac Visor coming in here, and it's going to be the Transcendence coming in for FNRGFE as Buds takes out Grim Reality.
Yeah, pushing everyone back. A common combination of the Transcendence and Tac Visor will force Immortals back. And, you know, when I was looking at that fight beforehand as well, you know, you kind of just think to yourself, right, like, you know, he's out there getting the kills, but, you know, you are right. They burned a lot. Now they're going to have some stuff to work with here as they get ready for this next fight, because they were able to force out that Transcendence, so that was a win.
Well, I mean, you have both your support ults, right? On the side of FNRGFE, they had to use the Tac Visor, they had to use Transcendence in the last fight. The thing is though, like, I mean, you have you're forcing, you know, Grim Reality needs to get something with his Pulse Bomb, right? You see Pulse Bomb come out there from Clockwork, not able to do anything with it. You need Grim to make that Pulse Bomb worth it. And then, you know, Envy with that Meteor Strike. You know, you don't have, you know, Agility's this fantastic Dragon Blade, right? That just cuts through opponents.
And Envy really low on health. He's getting back into the fight, though. Unfortunately, Boink has his number. Transcendence is out for Immortals. They will have the sound barrier to boot, so both sides are going to use their sound barriers to keep themselves alive in this fight. There goes the Diva Bomb there, courtesy of Hype, as he's back into his mech, and then back out he goes. So won't be able to stay up long enough there as FNRGFE win out on this fight. And so much invested into this one. One has to wonder, you know, can Immortals dig deep, because they don't have a lot to work with here as far as sustain.
You lost your Doomfist, right? I mean, you used Transcendence, you lost your Doomfist, and then, you know, when you're down a man, you decide to invest the sound barrier as well. And I mean, you can know how that fight's going to go. Now for Immortals, you have your Primal Rage, you're going to have Pulse Bomb, and you're going to have Envy with the Meteor Strike. On the other side for FNRGFE, though, Tac Visor and Transcendence, their own Primal Rage as well.
Oh, they lost Kariv, so goodbye to the Zenyatta. 8 seconds left on the clock now. A couple ults come online, but Envy cannot even use the Meteor Strike. He's going to get picked off now. Fate is going to have to use that Primal Rage in order to keep himself alive here on the point. Now we're going to be in overtime. Tac Visor will be in play as well as the Transcendence here, trying to push him back, but the kills are coming through hot and heavy. And FNRGFE are going to be able to hold this one before it gets to second. Fate can't get back in time. And I mean, you know, again, they didn't even have a chance to use the Meteor Strike because they lost Envy so quickly in that engagement, the final one.
It looked good early when they get the opening picks and they start to get going. It's when FNRGFE like has a hold on defense, and then Immortals is forced to like act as a team and get together and actually like have a 6-on-6 team fight. They're just not able to really force any type of advantages.
It's a very just you know, bewildering decision here, right? Again, I'm really interested to see what the, you know, I guess what the rationale was. But now FNRGFE will be on the attack, so they get ready to go. And you mentioned it before too. You said like, hey, you know, good job on that first one, but it's about the second. It's about how you're able to, you know, like what's your game plan here? And it was very clear that they just they struggled to work as a unit.
Yeah, I mean, in those times where you have to act as a unit, right? They lose somebody at the beginning of a lot of these fights, and then you see some questionable ult usage decisions and whatnot, and then you see them never actually get a great attempt. So, they'll keep the cart going. We'll see, if FNRGFE, obviously still some time to make changes, but, Bud's on the Pharah. So, he's made impact on that hero in this series. Immortals on defense here. So, Kareev now will pick up the 76 duties. Verbo will stay on Lucio. And now let Envy come in to play the Sombra.
All right, well, Immortals, they're throwing it all out there. And with the Sombra, though, I mean, hey, that could work out, right? But I don't know. I'm trying to find the silver lining here going into this one. FNRGFE playing that pharmacy combination out of the gate. Expect them to just fly out swinging and see if they end up, besting Immortals here, winning this series 3-1. If Immortals do manage to win, well, we're going to be going to an Ilios control game. That would be right in line with Reinforce's predictions. But if you're Sideshow, you're feeling pretty good because you're about to get that 3-1 score line. And look at that, the wizard Sideshow, man. He's always right.
And now, I mean, for Immortals, right, you're putting a lot of pressure on Kareev to take out this Pharah Mercy combo on the 76, where we've really seen Grim Reality play 76 for most of the time here on Immortals. So, I mean, Envy is able to build up an EMP. You lose Cool Man at the beginning. Still, Bud's able to do a ton of damage here on the Pharah Mercy. Bud's obviously playing the Pharah. Here comes the EMP, but Hyped is actually going to get demeched. Clockwork going to take out Kareev, so you burn that EMP, you can't even get aggressive off of it.
Yeah, really, no follow-up with the EMP. Sure, they do manage to get a demech there onto Cool Map, but you still have Buds in the air just raining down justice all over the place. Grim Reality, goodbye, my friend, and they have just no one to handle Buds in the air, and that's what the 76 is supposed to do, as you had mentioned before, X, and they're going to march in and get this first point.
Yeah, and they don't have to go much further, Alex. 5 minutes to go. Like we said, Immortals with a great offensive push. FNRGFE basically matching their time. They use the Rocket Barrage and the Pulse Bomb there. Then you're going to have Sound Barrier, you're going to have Res. Immortals, they did burn the EMP, but you see Envy. Well, okay, so here we go. So now we're going to see him switch off of Sombra. Kareev will go Ana. Now you bring Envy in on the 76. As now all you're going to have is your Pulse Bomb. Verbo maybe gets the Sound Barrier in this fight, but you're going to have the Res for FNRGFE if you need it.
Yeah, and when you're talking about second, right, you bring up that Res at the opportune moment. It could be also just fat, meaty Res, and that will just change the tone of the fight completely. They will have the beat in a little bit, though, so perhaps they use this one to bounce back, but Bonnie's just waiting this one out, waiting for the opportune moment to use the Resurrection. There goes the Sound Barrier from Boink, and then Verbo, in turn, is going to have to use it as well. While this is going on, though, no kills on the board just yet, as Kareev dangerously low, and now Verbo and Kareev actually are going to have to take a seat for the time being, as FNRGFE clear the point, clear the objective of any members of Immortals, and they still haven't used that Res, X.
We'll see if Immortals can even make it back towards the payload here, Alex. If they do, you have Primal Rage, you have Tac Visor, but even if you pick up some kills there, you do have the Res from Bonnie that could come into play. They will get back towards the cart.
They take out
Buds, putting down
early.
a lot of damage, and Kareev, putting a lot of pressure on him. It'll be Envy answering back with the Tac Visor Bullock. Here's Bonnie with the Res. Let's see how many he can get with it.
Guys dying the point. No. I think he might be able, okay, he gets two, so at the very least he gets Buzz and movement back, so he can get back to the sky with his teammate and just put down that pressure. Look at the barrage coming through, and that is just going to drain time, not only for that nano boost, but also just going to have to focus the attention away from the Diva. Diva Bomb, though, does come in. Hyped. Can he stay alive? He's just losing out on health so early. And Buds, in a world of hurt, has to get away from this one. But Clockwork with a double on the Pulse Bomb here, keeping this fight going. Primal Rage is out. Muma's knocking everyone left, right, and center. Bonnie's going to be switching over to the Sombra here to probably, get that EMP out. And it's not even going to matter because the beat comes through and they're singing the blues for Immortals. They lose 3-1.
Yeah, and Boink, he's on the payload for so long as the Lucio for FNRGFE. And nobody's even focusing him. He's just able to heal the rest of his teammates, build up the Sound Barrier, uses it there at the end, and Muma able to use the Primal Rage, knock players back. So FNRGFE closes out Immortals 3-1. Now Immortals still winless.
Sideshow channeling his love for Harry Potter. You know, he's a wizard. 3-1. But this has just been, oh man, FNRGFE with a clinic. You know, odd decision. I wonder if the desk has any more information on that switch, though, because it was a little weird.
I mean, I know Immortals fans out there are definitely going to want some kind of explanation for this. We'll see if the desk has any other knowledge on it.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for us this week here. FNRGFE win 3-1. Let's go ahead and send it over to Chris Puckett and the boys to break it all down. Sideshow, congratulations. You're the winner.
And